Good morning, it's Martin and it's another video on my Knit365 YouTube channel. Welcome to the next instalment in my vlogmas series. You've just seen me opening day 10. I was really tired this morning when I first woke up and it was dark, and I know I've done early morning to the cameras and I was like, I haven't had my coffee. I'm gonna just have a quiet start. So, good morning, welcome back. Hi everyone. If you're new here, thank you for finding me and thank you for giving me a little bit of your time. If you are returning, welcome. How are you all doing? I hope that you are well. I'm very excited about this episode. I don't know why, because I don't know what's coming up, but I've got lots of knitting plans that I want to do this weekend. 2 weeks till the big day, which means 2 weeks till the first baby is born. If you're new here, we have 2 nieces already, and I have a nephew due Christmas Eve and another niece due a week after that. I'm making baby blankets. I'm halfway through nephew 1's blanket, and I haven't started niece 3's blanket. So I've got lots of knitting plans this weekend, as well as my crochet. So you've just seen me open day 10, and there was no big reveal in a shock for me. But yes, it is this lovely teal. No, it's not teal, it's jade, and I've just dropped it. Seamless as always. It is the jade, and it's an exclusive colourway. It's looking quite greeny on the camera, but I think that's the artificial light because I've got the light on because it's a bit dark out. So I'll try and show you a more natural view in the window at some point in this episode. But I've done my clue for the day, so we have started this. Now, I'm assuming it's a tail. Excuse the ends, I haven't done the ends. I've left, if you're interested. We started doing a chain in the ruby, which is why I think it's a tail, because the body of the festive bird that we're doing is red. So I'm guessing the red will then join it to the body, and so I've left a long length of yarn so that I can sew it in. Just my little ends where I've changed colour, and then we changed to the new jade. And we've just increased. So it's getting bigger. So it's going to go on the body and it's... So I'm not sure what it's going to be. I'm assuming it's a tail, but as I've said in other videos, who can say? It's a mystery, and that's why I love doing these Toft Advent crochet-alongs, because I don't know where it's going to go. And in most years, I've been kept guessing. Like even the year that we did the chipmunk, I didn't realise it was a chipmunk until like a day before Christmas Eve. I'm not very bright at some of this stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And so there we go. We have done day 1. Day 1, oh God, it's early. Day 10. Slow down, Martin. Take a breath. It's because I'm rushing, because I'm late for work, and I want to get to work. I don't want to get to work, but you know what I mean. The sooner I get to work, the sooner I come home. So it's day 10 of Advent. We finished today's piece. I'm off to work. Good morning, good morning. It is day 11 of Advent, and we are sitting in the car. He's very tired and slightly hungover. Yeah, we are going into town, Cardiff city centre, to do some shopping. So we're sitting in the car, queuing to get in the car park. It's only 9:40. I wanted to be up and in town a little bit earlier, so we didn't have to sit in the traffic. But someone...
It's not my fault.
So yeah, so I'm going to... I might film a little bit of the city centre, some of the lights and the decorations. Today's Advent I haven't opened yet. I've watched the video because I saw the pic. I read the pattern when it arrived, and I was like, I have no idea what that means. Kerry kindly put today's tutorial video out early, so I've seen the tutorial video, and we're using that sharp pointy thing from a couple of days ago. But I didn't have time to even start that today because that looks very involved. So we're gonna do some shopping. We're gonna have breakfast and coffee first. They're gonna love the fact that you're hungover.
I'm not hungover, just tired.
Just tired. Tired and emotional.
I've woken up so early.
No. So we are going to do some shopping. I'm going to make a baby hat today because I realised in all the baby stuff I've made, I've done the cardigans, which need to be washed and blocked tomorrow, but I haven't done the hats and the little booties yet, and they're the most important things. When the baby's born, you want to put a little hat on and a little cardigan. So I'm going to do a little hat and booties. I'm still plowing on the blanket. I'll share a bit of progress later on, but I think the rest of this video is kind of going to be all of my crafting plans for Saturday and Sunday, but we're not doing anything apart from a bit of shopping this morning and then a very lazy afternoon and evening, and we're not doing anything tomorrow except crafting. So I need to go and park the car now because the traffic's moving. So back in a bit. Okay, so we've parked up. And he said, you're gonna make it look like that in the edit now that you queued for hours. I won't do that. We queued for 14 minutes, which I think is an unacceptable amount of time to be queuing. I hate queuing, but we're gonna go and have breakfast.
We're still in before 10 o'clock.
Oh, shut up. Yeah, we are still in before 10 o'clock. So we are home from our shopping trip, very successful. I hope that you enjoyed a little bit of the footage of Cardiff, of some of the Christmas lights, the arcades. We just love them. That was only 2 of the arcades I think I took you around. But there are 5 or 6, maybe more. They're Victorian, they're just so beautiful. Yeah, so I really enjoyed, and we had a great time at the tea shop, bought lots of tea. But now home, and I'm gonna get cracking on today's clue before I go back to finish the baby hat. So today's day 11 of Advent, and I'm gonna open this carefully because I can't lose the content. But today's clue involves gemstones. So they are teeny tiny. Can you see? I've got a bag of them. I'm going to be very careful that I don't drop them everywhere. And I was right. This is the tail piece. So I'm basically going to do the branching technique that I did on the claws that made the 3 toes. We're going to do that, I think it's 5 times off the tail. And as we're going, I'm going to crochet in the gem. And this, I think some of you put this in the comment, this is a beading needle, beading, no, not beard, beading needle. So I'm going to use the beading needle and the beads to then thread onto the yarn to then be able to crochet them. So I think it's a bit fiddly. So I'm going to go and have a little sit down and try and work out what I need to do. And then I'll be back and I'll show you. Okay. Last year, the annoying fiddly bit was the mittens on the wizard. And I tried to do the fingers and in the end, threw him across the room, gave up, and the following night did mittens. This year, sewing beads onto wool. Brilliant concept. You thread the bead on the top, and then you have sewing thread through the middle of the needle, and then you've basically tied the thread to the wool, and then you tease the beads over the knot. I have succeeded, but I've used all of the cotton supplied. I've had a lot of swearing. I've called Mark over for moral support, for help to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. And I've done it. It is fine. It took a lot of perseverance. But wow, it was fiddly. But I've done it. So the beads are now on the yarn. And then the rest of the day should just be quite straightforward now, as long as I don't drop them. Because now I'm just going to do some normal crochet. And when I get to a bead, I'll show you what happens. But when you get to a bead, you just crochet with the bead in front and then secure it into place. I'll show you in a minute. I've told him to make a pot of tea. Now we've just bought some tea. I need to chill out. I might need a gin. Good morning, or should I say good afternoon. It is Sunday, day 12 of Advent. This is turning into a longer video than I'd planned, but hey, I got lots I want to talk about. So the bits that we've already seen were covering yesterday's clue, and day 12 of Advent, to avoid the rustling, I've just opened the bag and we've got another ball of wool. So we have Toft teal. Now, this is already one of the colours in the Toft range. And of course, variations on a theme. So we have the teal and then we've got the jade that was the special colour. So I've done today's clue. This is a very quick wrap-up video for today. I've done today's clue, which was to start a small piece. So I've created another looped piece, and we were told to wind up our big needle, so I'm guessing there's more gems coming tomorrow, but I've done the tail, and then we had to put toenails on the bird. I still haven't sewn my ends in. Kerry actually said in this morning's video that one of the days coming up, we're going to be told to sew in all of our ends, so I'm just going to leave them until then. But yes, we've just done these really little sort of triangles, effectively, on each of the toes in the jade colour. So when all the ends have been sewn in, obviously that will look massively neater. But she's got green toenails, so there we go. So I'm up to date with today's clue. Little bit of knitting update. Teeny tiny. So I made this little hat, knit it in the round. You saw I started it yesterday and then I finished that last night. So that's a little hat for nephew one. Super cute, super simple pattern. It's by West Yorkshire Spinners. I'll pop the name on screen because I can't remember the designer's name. But yeah, just a super cute hat, little bit of ridge detail, lovely simple crown. And I really like, because I followed the pattern, you get this kind of little ridge right at the very top, which when it should have been a pearl roll. Interesting, obviously you got a slight little jog. I didn't do a helical knitting technique. I knit it in the round, so of course each of you're going to get this small jog, but I'm fine with that. So yeah, so that was yesterday's knitted hat project. And then the other thing I want to show you briefly, as I drop everything everywhere, you've seen some of these cardigans before. In terms of me trying to finish what I'm doing, I have finished the body this morning on the second cardigan. So one of these for nephew one and then one for niece three. So I'm making lots of stuff for the babies. So I'd split for the sleeves when I picked this up this morning. So I've just finished the body and the bottom cuff. So bit of a lazy weekend. I've done today's clue. I'm up to date. I've finished a little hat. I'm going to make the booties later, hopefully, but thought I'd just finish the cardigan. So then over the next couple of days, I can then wash and block all of the cardigans, doing all my ends, etc. So that's going to be my quick check-in for Sunday. It's 2:30. We've decided impromptu to go to the cinema. We really wanted to watch House of Gucci, and it's the last day that it's in our local cinema. So no more knitting for the time being. I'll have a little go on some booties or something when I come home tonight. And then I'll be back tomorrow with a bit more of an update on Monday. It's my non-work day, so we're going to do a few projects tomorrow, hopefully finish some cardigans, and then I'll share some progress on the baby blankets. And then, yeah, so you've got that coming up. But it's been a good day. Like, I've done a lot. So I've deserved a glass of wine and a trip to the cinema. So let's go. Good morning. It is Monday the 13th, day 13 of Advent, and my non-work day. So I am off work today. And quick wrap-up video then to bring this episode to an end. I've opened day 13's package, and we had more beads. So we had 2 different color beads today, so you can see slight variation in the color. So the ones at the top would be the teal beads, I guess, and then these ones would be the jade beads down the bottom. So I got ahead of myself and I loaded up the next lot of beads as per the pattern, so I don't need to do that tomorrow, which is great. But we have a tail, but then I thought this was the tail with the beads that caused the problem in the first place when I struggled to do it. It was a lot easier this time. I think now I knew how to do it. But I don't know, we have another tail. And obviously this bit's in red and this bit's in red, which makes me feel like we're going to be sewing it to the bird. So I don't know, is she going to have 2 tails? Who can say? But basically we had this bit done yesterday, this little red round, and I've now crocheted a tube with an increase. You can see it's tapering outwards. And then as I've been doing that, we've added the beads on, and you can see these dark beads all the way up. And then we have 3 light color beads and 1 on the back, and then a final dark bead. So that is day 13 of Advent done. As we were advised to load up our beads for the next bit, I'm assuming we're going to make the exact same thing again, but on this bit of the chain. And that'll be tomorrow's task, but as I've said before, who knows? So that's today's bit of the Advent clue. Sorry if I keep jumping it around. I do really like the way that they glisten, and I've not done this technique before. Very, very lovely. So that's the crochet, and I did say that I would show this yarn off in a better light. So this is the jade, which is the special, one of the special editions for this year for Advent, and this is the standard teal that they have in the range. So you can see the colours, and if you're interested in the lime green, that's a bit bonkers, isn't it? Match with the red. Very interesting colour palette. So I just thought I would round off this video with a very quick bit of knitting chat, just to share some of the final bits that I've been up to. I'm gonna then stop. I was gonna like do a bit more because I want to sew in some ends and block some cardigans, and that'll come in a future video, because otherwise this Advent blog is going to be like an hour. So I'm gonna just show you a few little things now, but I showed off one of the cardigans that I was doing before we went to the cinema yesterday. Oh, the film is very good, by the way. If you get to see House of Gucci, Lady Gaga is brilliant, of course. Really enjoyed it. So I finished that before I went, and I joined Sleeve Island last night. So I've picked up the stitches, I've knit down the body, and I've just switched so that I can do the ribbon. So I've done 3 rounds of ribbon, and I think it's 10 in total, but I kind of reached a point last night. I couldn't be bothered. These needles are really tiny. They are 2.5 mil, I think, because this is a fingering weight sock yarn, 4-ply. So I've done the sleeve. So my plan is to finish the cuff this afternoon and then start the second sleeve, and then I can then pick up for the body. So I'm hoping I might get most of that finished today. Fingers crossed. That will be my plan. So that was productive. I also then said when I came back from the cinema, I was going to make a baby booty to go with a hat. And I have made a baby booty. This is also from the West Yorkshire Spinners, from Jenny Watson. Can you guess what it is? I should have done that first, shouldn't I? So this is a baby booty that's knit flat. And then you fold over the cuff, sew it down the back, and then that'll be the front. And then they basically get seamed together. See? If I showed you that way, you'd think, oh yeah, it's a baby booty. So I've made one little booty, which will just be super cute when it's all sewn up. So there's one booty. So I need to do the other booty. Very, very simple. I actually quite enjoy it knitting flat. So you just do a bit of shaping here for the toe. Just not even a wrap and turn or a German short row. You basically just turn the work and slip the next stitch, which keeps the hole closed. and then a very simple moss stitch top, which, as I said, when folded over will be the little cuff. So I've done one of those. So hope to get another one of those done tonight, maybe. I want to focus on the cardigan, because once the cardigan's done, they can all have the ends sewn in, they can all be blocked. That didn't take me very long at all last night. 45 minutes, maybe. So cardigan is number one priority today. The other thing I was just going to show off very quickly then, just a bit of progress to share on the squares for the baby blanket. So they'll feature as I get further through the blanket. Now I've made, I had made 6, but I've now undone some. More on that in a minute. So this is the one of the lace squares, and it's from the Martin Story 2014 Mystery Knit Along for Rowan. And very simple lace square design, and then I'll just sew them all together. But the reason I'm going to undo it is because I often talk about tension and the fact that I don't swatch, and I'm neither too loose nor too tight, but I have come under attack, under pressure. I have suffered for poor gauge recently. Now, I'm not worried about gauge too much on these because they'll all be washed and blocked, so they can all be pinned to size. But interestingly, these ones are all the same size. This one, the blue, is not. Now, you can see it's only subtle. It's not quite as wide and it's not quite as long. I could block it, but when I actually look at it and look at the size of the stitches on this one are slightly smaller than the stitches on this one. And I was like, well, how can my gauge change? Like, how? It's the same brand of wool. The blue can't be a different tension to the others. Well, maybe it could. And then I had a moment. I changed needle. So I originally started these two because we're having a boy and it's the first boy in the family. I got all excited and wanted to knit in blue. I started this one with my old faithful bamboo needles, but look, they've got a bit of a bend in them because they're quite well used. So I thought, oh, I'll treat myself. I'm going to be doing a lot of knitting. I like making these squares on flat needles. I'll go and buy a new pair. Well, the only thing that's different is I've gone from using these needles to these needles, but the blue ones were definitely done on these, and then the others have been done on these. Now they're both 4.5mm, so they should be the same, but that's the only thing that I can think of that makes it different. So I've undone one of the blue, because I'm not happy with it. So part of me was like, oh, just carry on. You can block it out. It'll be fine. And then I was like, no, because you'll know it's there. You'll know you're not happy with it. It's 2 hours a blanket square. So just save the 4 hours of work. Dedicate the 4 hours, get the square done, and all will be fine. So that's what I've done. So I've undone it. And I'm going to redo it, obviously, on the new needles. And I'm going to see what that does to the tension. And hopefully then the blue ones will match. Because as it stands at the moment, I don't think any of them need blocking because they're all the same size and they're all really nice and flat. So hopefully I won't need to block each square individually. I can just sew the whole thing together and then give it a nice little wash. But I just thought that was an interesting thing to kind of end on, that I have been doing some knitting over the weekend. I finished a grey square as well, but now I've noticed that the blue squares are slightly different in size. So I want to correct that over the next couple of days and have a go. So there we go. I'm going to end this video now. It's been a bit of a longer Advent video than some of the others, which have been around sort of 15 minutes. It's almost double that. But yeah, we've had a lot of woolly, fibery content. So I hope that you've enjoyed a slightly longer video. And there's not going to be a normal December wrap up because of doing Advent and Vlogmas and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I hope that's okay. And if you are still here, thank you very much for sticking with me to the end. Coming up on the channel then, I'm hoping maybe Wednesday this week to get the bauble video. I've decided I'm not showing off the baubles in these videos. The baubles are going to have their own special video. So stay tuned for all the bauble madness. I need a name for that ball video, but that will come up midweek, and then probably Friday I'll post the rest of the advent. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that'll be a wrap up, and then I'll probably do another one on Sunday then, because it's the weekend before Christmas. And hopefully I should have finished all the cardigans and the booties and the hat, and have made progress on the blanket squares. So we'll have a weekend wrap up, I think. So thank you very much for watching. As always, click that subscribe button. If you don't subscribe, it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to my channel, but it does really help me to continue to grow my community. Thank you so much for coming back. If you are a returning viewer, as always, as I said at the beginning, and welcome, hello to anyone that was here for the first time. I hope to see you again soon. So until we speak again, take care of yourselves and happy crafting.